New baby. She weighs 2 pounds, 3 ounces and is filled with sausage, egg, cheese, potatoes, avocado, and is even wrapped in a homemade flour tortilla. And I'm going to show you how to make your own burrito. We'll add some flour to a large bowl. Then I'll add in a generous amount of salt as well as some pork lard. This is the classic way to make flour tortillas, but if you want to substitute it with shortening or butter, you certainly can. You can also just skip this step entirely though and buy pre-made tortillas, but these are going to taste a lot better. Before getting my hands in there, I'll start by mixing to break up some of that fat. And after about a minute, the mixture is going to start to look pretty clumpy like this. Then, before adding any water, I'm going to get in there with my hands and start squeezing everything together. The goal here is to press that flour and pork fat together as hard as you possibly can. It's almost kind of a push and squeeze motion at the same time. You can also pick it up between your hands and rub it really hard between your fingers like this. And what you're ultimately going for is a very light, wet sand texture. You'll know you're ready to start mixing in your water once you can grab any part of this flour mixture, and when you squeeze it, it holds together like this. But the second I squeeze this in any way, it's going to crumble back into that wet sand. At this stage now, I'll start adding in my water, but I'm not going to do all of it at once. It's always easy to add a little bit more, but not so easy to take out. And now the dough comes together fast. And the reason I haven't been worried about anything spilling on my cutting board is that I can just sweep it all up with my dough once I take it out of the bowl. The final step is to knead your dough for several minutes, and don't expect it to look perfectly smooth at the end. All you're looking for is that it's well mixed and has a fully consistent texture throughout. When your dough looks something like this, you're ready to move on. Grab a knife or a bench scraper and cut your dough into 4 even pieces. If you really want to, you can pull out the scale, but it's breakfast and I'm hungry and I'm not about to pull the scale out, even though I definitely didn't just cut them into 4 even pieces. Now, take one piece at a time and then make a loose claw with your hand like this to spin your dough into a nice compact circle. Perfect. This can be a bit of a tricky move to learn in the kitchen, but the key is that you have a little bit of the bottom of the dough sticking to your work surface. And that little bit of grip is what allows you to spin it around and create that tension to form it into a ball. Yeah, these are definitely not the same size, but that's okay. Once they're all shaped into a ball, grab a plastic bag or some plastic wrap and toss them in to let them rest. They need to relax a little bit before we roll them out to cook them. Good night. Let's move on to our home fries. When I think about a breakfast burrito, I think about one that has lots of texture. And these home fries are gonna provide both fluff and crisp. I'll start by slicing my tomatoes. They're not tomatoes. It's breakfast, I'm tired. I'll start by slicing my potatoes into nice little cubes. You can cut yours bigger or smaller if you want, but I'm going for something like this. I want them big enough that they have that space inside to have that nice fluffy texture, but also small enough that they fit inside my burrito. Once they're all chopped up, I'll transfer my potatoes to a small pot, and then I'll cover them with cold water, enough to cover about an inch above the potatoes. And then I'll add in a pinch of baking soda, as well as a little salt. Quick little stir so none of these are sticking together. Once this comes up to a boil, I'll turn this to a simmer and let it cook for about 6 to 8 minutes or until fork tender while we go to start working on our meats. First,